I'll put this mic somewhere. Sorry. I've got the Wegovy in my blood at the moment, so my blood sugar's a bit low. Right. So, I just got back from the ride. That's what probably got bad bike hair. The bike handled okay. As I was saying on the post the other day, this man, which I hope you can see it, is Robert Adams from Colorado. Well, he was originally. He's probably moved somewhere richer and famous now, but this book, which comes in a nice sleeve, that is a noisy truck. They're building a house 6 doors up and they decide to park all their construction vehicles here. I'll just read you the intro from it. Eden, Colorado is named after a railroad official and not the biblical paradise. To the east of the interstate highway that intersects it are railroad tracks, gas tanks and a prefabricated metal shed. To the west is a roadhouse, closed, a military salvage lot, a car wrecking yard and the Westland truck stop. Extending beyond the freeway are billboard advertising, whiskey, real estate and ice. And hopefully that truck's gone away by now. What he's done, you have one blank page, one page, right? And it shows you various photos of Eden as it grows from country deserted town. It's capturing what is there now. In other words, a moment in time and how a town evolves. And as I've said a few times, it comes in this nice sleeve too. And I'll probably get shot for bringing it outside. It's our coffee table book. That's what's happening here. You go back, this one's 5 years old, so you go back 5 years ago, and this was a farm. Where I rode today, which you'll see in a minute, I last went up there in October last year, so 11 months ago. I really wish that truck would shut the hell up. Suburbia, we've got to put up with rubbish like that. I last went up there in the car in October last year, I think it was. And today the homes have extended a couple of miles further up than they were then. And I'm grossly unfit, so that ride nearly killed me. So the way the rest of this video is going to go, I will put up some very, very short 8 to 10 second video clips and some photos of each of my stops on the push bike as I worked my way up the tiny little hill that felt like the Swiss Alps to me. Before I do that, I'll show you the camera. I started and finished with the 14 f2.4 Samyang lens. I had it set to f11, both lenses. This camera, the Canon 6D Mark II and 2405 and the Samyang, I actually started renting in 2022. You let me know in the comments if you've had any of these sort of dramas. I'm still renting them, they're just about finished now. That finish in a couple of months. My job was threatened. I didn't have any other type of job I could go to other than photography, and all my cameras that I had at the time of 2022 were old, to say the least. They weren't full frame. And I was in the mindset back then that you had to have a full frame camera. I've so swung around for that mindset. So I quickly, while I still had employment, rented a kit, professional lens, professional full frame camera, that kind of thing. And I've done model shoots with it, I've done portrait work with it, I've done, paid work with that camera, but it's not worth the amount of money I've paid for it. It's the first time into at least 6 months that I've actually taken it out of the cupboard. I'm really using micro four thirds these days. It's a lot smaller and a lot easier. But I thought I'd give it a spin, take it up the hill. Nothing like lugging 2 kilos on your back when you're trying to lose weight is good. So I start the photos at the bottom of the hill with the 14mm. So you get this, it's a beautiful lens. I really think it should only be used inside, but it's a beautiful wide lens, almost you call it ultra wide. It's 14mm full frame. You get the entire vista of the bottom of the hill, which is full of graders and construction gear at the moment. They're working their butts off. Then as I got up to halfway up the hill, We got that out so I can get a few more. I got a few of the Samyang, and then I went over to the EF lens, the 24. Managed to zoom in on a few of the construction sites with that. Got a few of what's called the Yuyangs. It's a range of low-lying hills south of where I am now. And then when I got to the top of the hill, I kept that on so I could get some more photos of the Yuyangs. And then I went back to the wide-angle lens to do a couple of vista shots. And then I rode down the hill trying not to get run over. It wasn't a very long ride, but it was exercise. All right, I've talked enough now. This is supposed to be a 1 minute intro, looking like it's about 6 minutes. I will put up photos and I'll put up short videos, and I'll narrate the rest of the video, so you won't see my talking head again. I'll just narrate the rest. Anyway, stay safe. Welcome to Snap It Tuesday, I think it's called. And I'll see you tomorrow for whatever my wife's written down for me to do tomorrow. Anyway, stay safe. Take a shot Tuesday. Well, the aim today was to get up this hill. I haven't ridden my bike in, I'm guessing, 3 years. I thought it was 2, but I looked at my Strava stats and I haven't ridden a bike since October 2022. So that's 3 years ago, nearly 3 years ago. And I want to get some weather shots. I've been stuck at home dealing with various health problems, which I'm slowly getting on top of. I started Wegovy, or however the hell you pronounce that, last night. So today was my first time in more than a decade where my body actually ran out of sugar. And I had one hell of a time doing this bike ride. I had to stop and take some deep breaths, I can tell you. It wasn't a hard hill, but I ran out of energy because, I jabbed myself with a needle 12 hours earlier. Still, these are good places for weather photos. I don't have a beach near me. I have abandoned farms, and I have rubbish dumps, and I have burnt out cars, and I have construction quarries. I have big holes in the ground where they're building new homes. But you do with what you do with, This is the quarry. And they don't mind you taking photos of the front gate. You can't go in, which would be nice because there's actually a decent lake in there. They built it on, we won't get environmental, but there was a wetland there. There was a little lake to the back of it, and that got drained, and then they dug out the peat, and then they went in and they dug out the rock. The things you do on private farms when they sell them to you. This is that burnt out car. It wasn't there last year, but every time I've been up there, there's always a different car up there. This is the access road. That's the bike path. That's as far as it goes. It will eventually go further, and that's what it looks like when you get past that bit. It's no real thing. This car is well and truly gone. That might be one of my weather photos for tomorrow. I only used the DJI a few times while I was up there. The rest of it was that Canon camera that I showed you a minute ago. DJI Pocket 2. The problem I had is just, you may not notice it in here, but it's so windy. It was really windy, so I couldn't, even with the windsock on the microphone, it was just too much crapple. Too much feedback on the mic. So that's the top of the quarry where they dug out the earth on top. And if you're wondering why the bikes are leaning, it's a tip for gravel bike riders. When you're on gravel tracks and you're on narrow tracks for these gravel bikes, they tell you not to have a foot stand, a leg stand, any sort of stand for your bike, because it can be something that catches grass or twigs or whatever and can do you harm. So my bike does not have a stand on it. It means that's the security guard, by the way. Come and go on that photo, but yeah, the security guard went up and down 4 times, gave me a wave. He could see I wasn't dumping rubbish, I wasn't burying any bodies, I wasn't burning out a car. I had a push bike and I had a camera in my hand with a god awful big lens. He knew I was taking photos. I like this one. Nice leading line. Old fence, new fence. Yuyang's in the background of that little hill range you can see way off there. And this is another one I might use for the Weather Channel as well. It's shooting towards the coast, this one. And I ain't too sure what's in the distance there. Over there is a sewage farm somewhere. And you can see some of the weeds in this one. It's just how we're going in. That's the security guard again. That's what's encroaching on here. Right, so anyway, we've had a massive amount of people move into this area. We're expanding into the farmlands. And like the Eden book shows, if you can snap what was there before, you'll preserve it for time. You'll preserve the photo because it's not going to come back. This is all going to be residential areas within 5 years. It's crazy. It's expansion. We've got 3.5 million extra people that we're going to try and find a home for that have come here in the last 10 years. So our farms are going and our food's getting imported. Welcome to capitalism once again. But I like the farmlands because they've got nice open skies. And when you've got a day that's been raining and, it's been cold, it's raining, it's got big blue patches, it's nice for weather shots. Failing that, I can while I move to the beach and take beach shots all day, but this is not too bad. Anyway, people, stay safe. Enjoy life. Get a camera, go out and snap a photo and get creative, even if you haven't got something that's scenic around you. Ciao.